The first item we listed under Exemplary Teaching Practices is Instructor Presence, because this is one of the biggest influence in a course and it's something any instructor can do. So what is Instructor Presence? It is clear, consistent, and frequent communication. Students need to know you're there. They need to know what you're doing, they need to know what you want them to do, and they need to be reminded of it frequently. This allows students to feel connection with you as the instructor and feel confident in their own work. Instructor presence is also individualized instruction. Pay attention to what students are saying and what they are doing. If students are struggling, reach out to them personally and start the conversation. Then, based on that, you can give them more resources tailored to their needs. Instructor presence is also communicating high expectations. Students will rise to the occasion, particularly if you scaffold them to it and give them your support along the way. Instructor presence is giving prompt and meaningful feedback. We were all students once. We know how it feels leading up to submitting a big assignment. We work really hard, and then as soon as we hit that submit button, we're moving on to the next thing. The faster you can get feedback on that assignment back to the student, the better they are able to remember and use that information for their next assignment. The feedback you give also can't just be, "Great job, you got an A, yay." That gives the student nothing to work with. What did they do well specifically? What can they work on? Have they really attained the highest degree of ability in writing in this subject? Always make feedback specific and acknowledge strengths as well as weaknesses. Instructor presence is also knowing students and sharing your knowledge and experience with them. If you don't have a connection with your students, it becomes incredibly difficult for them to know that you're there or to even trust you. And finally, you were chosen to teach this subject because you know things and you have experience with it. Show it, share it. Students really need that first-hand, real-world experience and knowledge that you have in your brain. One of the ways you can have an instructor presence in Blackboard is by crafting your instructor profile in the course. Be sure to include availability, such as real or virtual office hours, response times, and any relevant experience. I'm going to show you an example in Blackboard. After clicking on the faculty information in the course menu, you now see My Instructor Profile. I've included my photo, email address, work phone, office location, and office hours. For my office hours, I have virtual time when I have my Skype open on my desktop while I work. This allows any student to sign in, find me, and either instant message me or video chat with me. I have my personal website linked here so students can peruse my experience, and then I've used Video Everywhere to do a background video. I wrote my little blurb down here and then used it to create my video in Video Everywhere. Posting a video here allows students to see and hear you for the first time, which is an extremely important connection needed for a student in an online course. As we scroll down, we see Erin's instructor profile. Again, she has her photo, email, work phone, office location, and virtual office hours. She has used a Collaborate link. During these times, she opens this Collaborate room and has it open on her computer while she works. She's picked times that she knows she's going to be at her desk and will be doing work anyway. If she's not going to be there, she'll send out an announcement and an alternative time to reach her. She's also included a personal link to her LinkedIn profile. She encourages students to connect with her offline and open their networking opportunities. And then we have her background information, which includes her experience. And finally, let students know that it's here. Send out an announcement with a direct URL link to the faculty information page. If the students don't know, then they can't get the help they need. And as we said before, remind students throughout the term that it's available. They might not need it when they start, but by the time they need it, they might not remember.
We're all busy. Many of us work full-time while also teaching 2 or more classes. It can be difficult to keep all of those balls in the air, and it is easy to have something slip through the cracks. However, our students should never be one of those casualties. Blackboard's Retention Center can help you stay informed of your students' progress and potential struggles, so you can catch them before they fall. Blackboard Retention Center is available from two places: the Global Navigation menu, under the icon with up and down arrows, or from within your course under Evaluation. Upon entry, the Retention Center is pre-populated with some default rules. Any rule can be modified, and new rules can also be added. The Retention Center has rules for activity, course access, missed deadlines, and grade alerts. Faculty can monitor students' average grade or missed deadlines, or they can monitor grades and missed deadlines on an individual assignment. Alerts appear in the Retention Center as a red dot beside the student's name. Click on the dot for additional information on the alert. You can choose to monitor this student or send them an email inquiry right from here. The Retention Center also provides an overview of your activity in the course. You can get a picture of just how present you have actually been.
There are different types of feedback. The feedback given within the document is specific feedback on what they did. This is inline grading. The feedback given by filling out the rubric is general to the criteria in the rubric. And the feedback given in the text box before you hit submit is more overall feedback. So now I'm going to jump into Blackboard and show you the different types of feedback you can give when grading. So the first way to give feedback is specifically within the document, and to do this there are two options. One is to download it and make changes by track changes in Word, and the second one is to do inline grading here within this Grade Center. To download it, you select the little download icon here, and then save the file as feedback so that you don't get it confused with the original document. Then, in Word, select Review, Track Changes, and then you can leave a new comment anywhere you like. You can also change words within it. Then, save, and upload it to the last area by clicking the paperclip tool in this last feedback box. The second option is to use the inline grader, which is powered by Crocodoc. It provides similar functions as Word's track changes, and you can comment right on the paper right here in the browser. To give you more room, you can hover over this area between and click on it to hide the course menu. And you can also hit this little arrow right here to hide this. So you have a big open space to give feedback. To start giving feedback, select Comment, and then you can use any of these tools directly on the page. So to comment, if you find the area you want to comment on, click and it will open the comment. You can also highlight areas to comment on, or use the drawing tool. If you find you've made something that you want to delete, select it and hit delete. And then hit OK. If students want to keep this feedback, they will need to download it. In the box down below this video, select Show More under the description, and there will be a link to a more in-depth video on how to do this type of feedback, as well as a link to a PDF tutorial on how to download assignments with the Crocodoc inline feedback. The second way to give feedback is through the rubrics. To get those back, click that little caret arrow again, and then click on the rubric. Grading with a rubric allows students to see which specific areas they did well in or where they need improvement. Rubrics give a description of each criteria at each level, helping students to understand where they are at. Rubrics also help instructors in grading more fairly and purposefully. You can open the descriptions of each criteria to help you choose by selecting this box. You can also enter specific feedback for criteria by checking this box. Fill them all out, and then hit Save Rubric. The secondary rubric is here. This is for program evaluation, and if you see it, you should fill it out. The students will not see this rubric, and you should fill it out based on their ability to meet these standards at a program level, meaning that if they are in an introductory course, they will most likely not be at standard or above standard. To learn more, select Show More in the description down below this video and click on Secondary Rubrics. The last option for feedback is the last box before you hit Submit. This is where you would attach the document if you downloaded it. This is for general feedback. You can also leave general feedback by using Video Everywhere by selecting the A, and then the little recording button. This video feedback should be very general. Specific comments should be detailed within their assignment using inline grading. The video helps students see and hear you more often and get that instructor presence.
As we close our discussion on instructor presence with feedback, we want to make sure those of you with iPads are aware of Blackboard's grading app, which allows instructors to easily grade from their iOS device. When you first open the app, you are presented with an overview of what you have left to grade. Select an assignment and see which students have submitted their work and those that have not. You can view the student's risk profile and send them an email inquiry right from here. The same in-text commenting that should be familiar from Blackboard is available on the app. Additionally, the instructor can record video or audio feedback, which is attached to the student's feedback and made available to them in My Grades. The BB Grader app is free and will hopefully be available to all mobile devices in the near future.